Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Humans and monkeys are primates or simians. All primates had a common ancestor at some point about 60 million years ago, after which this species started to branch out. Humans are apes, monkeys are not. Apes like humans, gorillas, orangutans and chimpanzees don't have tails, but monkeys do. About 20 million years ago, another split occurred in the branches of simian evolution, and great apes first began to appear in the fossil record. This is also the time when tails started to disappear because apes did not have tails. The first person to realize this history was, of course, Charles Darwin, who did not have a comprehensive understanding of the timeline or the genetics of what happened. But today, it looks like maybe we do. In this video, we'll be discussing a new study out as a preprint that identifies the genetic mutation that removed our tails, and we'll talk about how the discovery was made and confirmed. I'm Sandhya Ramesh and this is Pure Science. If you've ever had a spinal injury, you'd be familiar with the coccyx, which is our tailbone. It's at the tip of our spine or vertebral column. The word coccyx derives from the Greek word root for cuckoo because the bone looks like the beak of the bird. It is considered to be vestigial today and not having real any function, even though it supports a number of muscles and ligaments which are fine even when the tailbone is surgically removed. The bone was first identified as a small external rudiment of a tail by Darwin, described in The Descent of Man, which was published in 1871. When it was published, of course, it led to a lot of outrage because imagine saying that humans and monkeys are related. There was already a lot of backlash to On the Origin of Species, which was published earlier in 1859. Darwin was ridiculed and caricatured by local media, but of course, he turned out to be absolutely right. The tailbone sits at the base of our spine on which we sit. Scientists theorize that it has helped our gait evolutionarily to walk stably on two legs. Today, it can be without an identified function, but it still does get injured or fractured, and this can be extremely painful. It was an injury like this that made Bo Xia, a stem cell researcher at NYU, to dig into the genetics of how humans lost their tails. To understand the genetics of how anything works, the easiest thing to do is to go back to the embryo where development can be observed. In an embryo, there are only a few physiological features, and as the embryo matures, newer features and traits start to appear as different genes start switching on. We're familiar with a lot of these genes that are involved in the tail building and spinal column building process, and we've identified about 31 of these that go into the process in humans. These aid in the development of the spinal column. In our embryonic development, we do briefly have a period where we have tails. This is from the days 31 to 35 of gestation, after which the tail recedes back into the vertebrae, fusing with the last few segments of the column, becoming the coccyx. We've also studied the genes that play a role in the development of tails of various other species as well. So now these researchers, they examine these 31 identified genes that are present in humans and compare them with their equivalent or orthologs in all embryos of other species. These genes exist in all species, but only some of them develop tails. So clearly that means that there must be some mutation in some gene that caused tails to not develop. So the researchers compared all of these genes of various species to understand variations and identify them. They identified variations in a gene called the TBXT, the T-box transcription factor T gene. It's also called just the T gene or brachyury. It's a member of a family of proteins called the T-box proteins. These play a major role in the development of the embryo because they regulate how other genes work. So they're also called transcription factors because they affect the activity of other genes by binding to parts of the DNA. We are familiar with the T gene or the brachyury protein. It is responsible for the growth of the notochord, which is the early version of a spinal column within the embryo. This then goes on to help modulate the development of the spinal cord and the brain. This gene was first discovered almost exactly 100 years ago in Russia in mice. But the mutation that was discovered now by these researchers was different. It is new to us and is present only in humans and apes, not monkeys. The researchers theorized that the mutation occurred randomly in an ape about 20 million years ago, and then the ape managed to survive and then passed on the mutation to its offspring, eventually leading to this mutation becoming the norm in apes. To confirm their findings of how the genetics worked, the scientists performed an analogous mutation in mice to simulate the same genetic effect. They discovered that the mice in which this gene was modified did not grow tails or grew only short, stumpy ones. The authors of the study do not claim that this mutation is the main or the only mutation that was responsible for the loss of our tails. In their experiments, the researchers noticed that the genetically modified mice produced tails of various lengths, even if short. But all human coccyxes are similar, so other genes must be involved in the process as well. The findings provide an interesting insight into our evolution. Sure, this is the genetics of how it worked, but functionally, why would simian ancestors living on trees need to lose their tails? This was also a two-step process, as previous studies have indicated that the tail evolved separately twice in animals and fishes over 350 million years ago. So the tail has been advantageous to animals all this while. It is possible that ape ancestors started to swing from tree to tree, much like the way gibbons do now. And gibbons also walk on 2 feet between branches of different trees when they want to balance, like a tightrope walker. So it's possible that ape ancestors did that too and got muscular and heavier to aid the swinging and walking movement, and got bigger and started falling off trees. Muscular tails that act as a rudder and to balance when jumping would get severely injured if these animals fell off trees. Maybe the heavier animals tended to show a propensity for bipedalism and the tail was in the way, preventing our ancestors from standing upright. This is seen in individual monkeys today as well, where those who have the tendency to walk on 2 legs often tend to have stunted tails, or vice versa. But this mutation also comes with defects. The researchers noticed that many mice which were modified ended up with spinal cord defects. But evolutionarily, the loss of tail became a tremendous advantage. We are yet to understand this major mystery in our evolution. Why did we lose our tails when having tails was clearly a bigger advantage? And how did it evolve to become a standard and harmless feature? Slowly, it appears we may be beginning to piece together the puzzle.